Riley. How are you doing today?
Hey, good, Ashley. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. So, thanks for being our student spotlight. I'm Ashley Deans, the communications specialist at GWHT, and today we are going to be interviewing Riley. So, Riley, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, your role at GWHT, and what research team you're a part of?
Yeah, hi, I'm Riley Deutsch. I'm a rising third year PhD student in the lab, and I'm part of the breast imaging team. So specifically, we do a lot of different things. I work on imaging of metabolism. So the lab has developed a lot of tools to study the way cancer metabolism changes throughout the course of disease. And one of the problems is that we have a lot of custom hardware that we use, which makes it very difficult to disseminate this technology. So we're developing this new kind of suite of instrumentation and methods that we can help distribute to make this type of research more accessible to all scientists.
That's really great. Thanks for sharing. So, with that and the work that we do here at the Center for Global Women's Health Technologies, why are you interested in health inequities or women's health?
Yeah, I think health in general is just, it's part of life. It's fundamental. It's pervasive throughout all we do, and there is a lot of inequity. And I think what's frustrating is that there are a lot of cases where we know the answer, we know what could keep someone healthy or keep them alive. And too often it's a monetary hurdle or a hurdle of access, being able to get to that solution that causes people to not live as healthy as they can or to get the treatment they need. And so I think what's really cool about the center is that that is really at the forefront of what we do, is guaranteeing that, or attempting to guarantee that there aren't those hurdles.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's definitely, there's more to go, more to come, but I'm really excited by the work that you're doing and the work that everyone here at the center is doing. So, changing gears a little bit, are you involved in teaching at all?
Yeah, so I was a teaching assistant this spring, which was very interesting given class had shifted midway through the semester because of the
Right.
pandemic. So yeah, I taught a diagnostic imaging class, which was kind of the math and physics behind things like MRI and CT. And I definitely learned a lot,
Yeah.
especially given how everything came online. And
Yeah. So, did you enjoy that experience? And just go ahead and tell me a little bit more about what you learned.
yeah, so it was, yeah, it was very insightful. I think I learned a lot. I worked for a fantastic professor who, really tried to stray away from the classic whiteboard equation type of classroom setting. So I learned a lot about just how much effort it takes to be a great professor. I think, it's really easy when you're a student to know the difference between, this, I like this lecture style versus this is doesn't really stick. So to see what it takes to actually be a really good professor, the amount of like forethought and being able to gauge how well students are understanding and thinking of ways to supplement your lectures with additional material that helps the students better understand. Those are all things that I never really appreciated, and I feel like I have a much better respect for now.
Yeah, that is very insightful. Thanks for sharing. So, our next question is very broad, but what are your goals?
Gosh, yeah. That's a good question. I am very interested in helping to develop technologies that make accessible healthcare and even basic science tools. I think um, I'm not exactly sure what that's going to look like if you ask me to draw out the nitty gritty. I think that's why I'm here right now, is to develop the skills and understanding and grow more.
Yeah, that's great. And I love that you're, engaging with that and taking those steps and just learning as you go. So, again, switching gears, but with the midst, being in the midst of a global pandemic, it's really important to make time for ourselves. So, as a rising third year who's very involved, what do you do to maintain that work-life balance?
Yeah, that it's difficult, especially when, your one room is the office and the place where you interact with people. And it just yeah, the lines have definitely blurred. So one thing that I've really done is I'm a very food centric person. I really love to eat, and that's become difficult with all the restaurants closed.
Right.
So I really made a point of, making meals this time where I can decompress. I've experimented a lot in the kitchen. I've gotten really into cooking different foods. So just taking the time to prepare and eat meals is been like kind of the foundation of my days.
Yeah, that's great. What's your favorite thing that you've made?
Oh, that's hard. I did learn how to slow cook ribs
Okay.
well. So that's something that like, I'm not don't have access to a smoker. I live in an apartment, but
Right. That's
being
really cool. That's great. So, final question here. What is your favorite part about the Center for Global Women's Health Technologies?
oh, this is easy. It's definitely the people. I think we have such a cool collection of people. I just learn something from everyone every day, and it's not just like very academic traditional. I think, because we're so socially aware and we're so interested in these like very fundamental struggles, I think I've personally really grown because of conversations we've had about how do we be more equitable? How do we be aware of struggles, whether they be racial or social or, from coming from across the world? Um, yeah, everyone is very knowledgeable, but also down to earth. I think that's the
Yeah,
other piece.
I would definitely agree. I think the people here are what makes working here such a pleasure. And what makes interviewing students such a pleasure. So, thank you, Riley, so much for being our student spotlight today.